So the next two are a bit more in depth, so I've already kind of got my pens out. The first one is from a guy called Paul, and it was actually to do with how do you know as a freelancer which business opportunities to chase? This can be a difficult one to look at because there's so many variables that you should consider when you're actually starting to think about your business and how do you, who do you follow at different stages, if that makes sense. So I'm going to draw it out, and if you've got any questions, please just drop me a message. So there we go. So on basic level, the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually for any business, especially if you're starting out, because this question will tend to come at the start of someone's kind of business career, is knowing what to chase at the right time. So you will have a certain level of costs which you have to meet. For any business, this could be your overheads, it could be your rent, it could be your staff wages, it could be, that kind of thing that you need to meet a certain level just to kind of be able to pay your bills and actually have a viable business. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your opportunities at least more than cover your costs, especially when you're starting out. This is the kind of thing that it could be a contract which is, it might be a 12-month contract, which might be on a slightly lower day rate than what you might want. But actually what it does, it gives you the security to actually just make sure that you'll still be there in 6 months, a year's time. And for any business, it's always trying to balance the difference between making sure you've got enough income coming in to actually cover your bills and keep operating. And especially in a time like COVID, that's really important. Then almost once you have that baseline, so if you're a freelancer, you might choose to work 5 days a week. So if we keep it super simple, actually, so we'll do days. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you're trying to decide what to do, you might actually find when you do your maths that you need £2,000 a month to stay still and just to cover your costs and stay in business. And actually from one of your contacts or customers or that kind of your business development, you might actually find that within the first 2 days, this might take up, I guess it's 20% of your time and get you the £2,000 a month, or whatever it is you need to cover your costs. And that's a smart move because what it then does, it allows you to build for the future with some sort of confidence in actually what you're doing. The next phase is almost then when it starts to get more important. And this is where the question actually started to sit, was because actually if you get some opportunities which come in, which sound very lucrative, but they might never come off. So in this example, it was for almost like a business development type commission, where it could be great 1 month, then nothing. And the challenge you've always got is that when you have business opportunities which are higher risk but higher reward, they're great and they're definitely worth chasing, but always balance them against a steady baseline. And actually the more you have the baseline covered and that security of supply that you feel like you're building towards something, then you can chase the higher value opportunity. And the other thing which I kind of mentioned to Paul as well was that it's how you frame that business opportunity. So the company had come to him and said, look, we'll give you a finder's fee of X if we land this deal. But my point was actually how many of those deals, how much time does it take for you to actually find them? How many will fall over, etc. And what they're essentially doing is paying you a fee to do business development. And that fee, I'm going to guess, could be, I don't know, 5% of, I guess, 100 grand, whatever is kind of raised. But the question is, when you frame that back to the client, when you're trying to pitch and learn how to develop the opportunity, it's important to frame the fee that you would charge, either in commission or as a salary, against other alternatives. So in this example, a high value venture capital firm might employ business development people at 60 grand a year, which is obviously 5 grand a month, give or take, or maybe 6 if you add on all the extra costs and that kind of thing. So by comparison, in this example, Paul or whoever could say, look, I will do your business development for you. I will allocate 2 days a week to do business development for you in return for, say, £2,000 a month. And the point is, it's how you can reframe the same opportunity back to a client to solve their headache, but actually it gives you what you need, which is the security of income and supply. And it's that kind of thing of just never be afraid to kind of reframe the opportunity and what it is and how it works in a way that could actually get you to what you want. If in this example you've already got your kind of baseline, then you can actually go for your high risk, high reward opportunities. But it's always important to model too. So it was just something I wanted to kind of share back in case that was of interest.